It has been quite a while since I've made a video, but as the NFL season approaches in just about a month away, I usually get excited about around this time, and I really want to get back to making videos about the passionate things that the things I'm passionate about, like football, like the NFL. Um, so I think I'm going to go straight into predictions regarding the 2026 NFL season, and we're going to go by division. So we'll have the AFC North, AFC South, AFC East, AFC West, and then onto the NFC, and keeping it continuous, putting out my predictions. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into this. So the Baltimore Ravens, first up, the reigning AFC North Division champions, a notorious team. They make it pretty decently far in the playoffs every single year, but they just can't seem to get over that hump. Mark Andrews with the tragic drop to lose them that game last year, the previous year against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. It's just been a tough stretch of years. So maybe this is the year, but in week one, I'm going to have them losing to Buffalo. Buffalo's a hot team. Buffalo usually gets hot out in the regular season. And I think it's going to be a very competitive game between these two teams. But I'm going to take Buffalo. No need to worry, though. They're at home against the Browns in a season, in a home opener. I think they should run right through Cleveland and then on to Detroit at home for primetime Monday Night Football. I think they match up against Detroit pretty well. Detroit, obviously, no Aaron Glenn, no Ben Johnson. They're still a great team, but I think Baltimore will edge them out right here. And then we see them playing Kansas City in week 4. Kansas City's a great team. I don't think they're that team in the regular season, though. I'm going to give it to Baltimore on the road, kind of a staple road win. You tend to see Lamar Jackson outperform Mahomes in these regular season games, and I think that'll be the case. A game against Houston at home, I think they win that game. I like Houston as a team, but I think Baltimore, their consistency just edges out Houston. They're just going to outplay them. And then before their bye week, I have them losing to the LA Rams. I think the Rams are an extremely underrated team coming into this season, and I think the four game win streak comes to an end for Baltimore going into the bye week. It's okay though; they come out and they get two commanding victories over the Bears and the Dolphins, two sort of retooling teams with not much going for them. Baltimore should run through them both pretty easily. And then a Week 10 matchup against Minnesota. I think they lose this game. It's just going to be one of those tricky games, starting to get colder in Minnesota. Of course, Minnesota has the indoor dome, but it's just going to be a later season game. Minnesota's going to be pretty hot around this time. J.J. McCarthy well into his career by now. And Minnesota's a good team. I think they'll just get ahead of Baltimore, take it away from this game. I think Baltimore is going to sweep Cleveland. I don't think they'll have a problem with that, and I think they'll easily beat the Jets. So we're sitting at 8-3, very confident against the Bengals. They get that home game. I think they take it over Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a great team. I didn't like what they did with the defense, but they did secure the big three on the offensive side of the ball. Pittsburgh, I think they lose this game. Pittsburgh's just one of those teams that's just going to knock them up in the regular season, maybe find a way to sneak in. And then I think Pittsburgh gets it done. They're going to lose to the Bengals. They'll split the series. They'll beat New England. And then they will. The Packers has a tough game, Saturday night game. I think in Lambeau Field they drop that game and then they finish it out, beating Pittsburgh. Finishing at 11-6, I think it's going to be a competitive division. I like Baltimore, and I could see 12-5. Like I could see them beating Green Bay, but really, it's going to be difficult. I expect better things from Cincinnati this year. Cincinnati against the Browns in Week 1. We'll see how this goes. I got the Bengals pretty easily. The Browns, there's not much for them right now. The Jags, I do like the Jags. I think they're going to be a surprising team this year with Travis Hunter and their new additions on offense. I think the Bengals take it, though. Again, the Vikings, I like them as a team. I think the Bengals offense just matches up to them pretty good. In an early season game, a fresh J.J. McCarthy, I think the Bengals can win that. Monday Night Football against the Broncos. Broncos-Bengals games are always fun to watch. I think Bo Nix gets it done. And then they play Detroit in week 5. I think this is going to be a Detroit win. Detroit's defense with Aiden Hutchinson back and that stacked secondary, I think it's just going to take over. In Lambeau Field, I don't think that winter condition will kick in just yet. I think the Bengals take it. They beat the Jets and the Steelers on a home stretch, and the Bears in week 9. 3 straight victories, 8-3 going into the bye week. But then I see Pittsburgh just edging them out in week 11. They're going to be coming off the bye week. These interdivision games are always tricky. The Steelers, you know what they can do in the regular season. And then New England. I'm going to take New England over Cincinnati. I like what they put together this offseason. And I think it matches up against the Bengals very well defensively and what they did on offense. We have them losing against the Ravens in week 13, winning in week 15. I'm going to have them lose to Buffalo in week 14. A tough 4-game losing streak. But they come home, they beat the Ravens, they also beat the Dolphins, and they beat the Cardinals. And then I think a week 18 game, they're going to probably be playing for the division at this point. I think they beat Cleveland. We'll see how the division plays out. I think the Baltimore edges them out. Now we got Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers, another one of those fun teams that you just don't really know how they're so good every year. Mike Tomlin knows how to get them in the playoffs. They got a veteran Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers' revenge game against the Jets in week 1, Justin Fields' revenge game, I think the Steelers take that. The Jets don't have much going for them. And Rodgers with Metcalf, and they brought in Ramsey this offseason. Steelers they're going to be decent. I think they against Seattle in week 2, I think Seattle takes that. Despite, DK Metcalf's revenge game, I think Seattle put together a solid team to get it done. And then I have the New England Patriots in week 3. I think the Pats and Steelers, they go way back. They got a good rivalry. But I think the Patriots just outmatched them. I think that, the Steelers are an old team, and New England's fresh with their rookie head coach or rookie debut head coach, Mike Vrabel. And then moving on against the Vikings in week 4, I'm going to give them that. No home field advantage for either team, but I like the Steelers in that one. The Browns in week 6, I'll give it to the Browns. I think they split. AFC North usually go like that. They split. And then the Packers in week 8, we'll see how this game goes. Again, another one of those big matchups. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game, true revenge game against Green Bay. And I think the Green Bay is going to get the best of them. I mean, I think what they put together is better than what the Steelers have. I like Josh Jacobs in the backfield. I think Jordan Love can be good at times. And I just don't know if I like the Steelers in a long-term goal. The Colts, I think they beat the Colts pretty easily. And then the Chargers, that'll be a tricky game, but I'm going to give it to the Chargers. Now we get to the point where the Steelers usually start to heat up. I have them beating the Bears in week 12, and then they're at home against Buffalo. I think it's a surprise, but I will give them the win over Buffalo. I have them splitting with the Ravens, and then in week 15, I'll have them losing to the Dolphins, surprisingly, and losing to the Lions. But then I'll be having them take this game against the Browns with a record of... We missed a game. The Bears, yeah. With a record of 8-9, I don't think the playoff streak lives on. I think the AFC got really good this offseason. And I have the Steelers sneaking out of the playoffs. Finally, the Browns. The Browns, I don't like them. I don't like what they did this offseason. Bringing in Shedeur Sanders, bringing in Dylan Gabriel. I guess you got a rookie quarterback battle, but you also have Kenny Pickett. You also, Quinton Judkins, we don't really know what's going on with him. There aren't any legit weapons on offense. The defense is looking rough. They signed Myles Garrett, which is decent. But I think teams like the Packers, teams like the Lions, teams like the Vikings are going to take advantage of them. They play the Dolphins in week 7. That's a game they could win at home. I don't love the Dolphins either. And then I think New England, I like what they put together right there. and that's going to be a loss. The Jets in Week 10, I'm going to give it to the Jets. I like Justin Fields. I like Aaron Glenn as a head coach. Breece Hall, they got decent weapons. It's just the luck of the Jets. Raiders in Week 12, I like Geno Smith. It's at home. I think the Raiders take it. The Niners in Week 13. The Niners are usually a banged up team. It could be a sneaky victory. I'll give it to the Browns. The Titans in Week 14. Another game that I think the Browns could pull off. Myles Garrett. He's good at getting after young quarterbacks. Could frazzle Cam Ward. It could be a good win. The Bears in Week 15, I'm going to give them that. And then I'm going to give the Bills in Week 16. And then obviously we have them losing to the Steelers and the Bengals, as I described. 4-13, nothing much to look for this year for Cleveland. Pretty much a retool year. But that's what I have for the AFC North. I could see teams like Baltimore bumping up to a 12-5, 13-4 record. They brought in Jair Alexander. They got a good core. Same thing with Cincinnati, although I do think 11-6 is their ceiling. I don't love that defense, and they got a pretty hard schedule playing the AFC North, and then obviously playing the NFC North, and obviously being in that AFC North division. But that is my AFC North predictions. There we go. The Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. Next, we will be doing the NFC North. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.